Let me welcome all of you once again on behalf of the Wentworthville Sai Center. On behalf of the center, let me also extend a special welcome to Neville Fredericks, who is our central coordinator, Krishna Nair, who is our deputy central coordinator, Sudan Sundaram, our regional chair, Dr. Wenty, who has made a huge effort to be here today, and Mr. Srinivasan, who is our spiritual coordinator for National Spiritual Coordinator. Apologies from Neville Fredericks, John and Shami Chan in Fiji, the founder members of Sathya Center Wentworthville, Roger Peckham, Sharanya, Dr. Gunu, Dr. Narayan Chandra. At this point, I would like to remember Mr. Jairaj Singh, who was our first chairperson of the center, and also late Ms. Carmen Reddy, who was our youth coordinator. In addition, I would like to extend a very special welcome to the class of '93. Carmen and Hansa Reddy, Ramany and Cuganesan, Kamala Varadarajan, Karuna Chetty, and Anu Singh. They were the original group, and you've heard some of the voices already. I compare the Sai Center as a diamond factory. We come as unpolished diamonds. And what happens at the Sai Center? We all have different ideas, but we have to fall in line with Swami's ideas. Okay, what does that do to you? We all get polished because of the love of our Lord, and we fall in line. Swami brings us together and gets us to work with everyone, whatever differences that we have, and only through his love that we are together here. The result of the small act of the group 20 years ago, we now have at the center level around 150 people, a centralized class, SSE class system, and a very energetic youth group. This evening's program has been put together to reflect on the 20 years that the center has been in existence. To do so, let me ask Mrs. Ramany Cuganesan, whom I call Amma affectionately, although she is only a few years elder to me. I'll get her to come over and take us down memory lane. On completion, there will be a video of it. So please sit back and enjoy the talk.
Saram, my humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Lord. Prabha has already welcomed you all, but I think it's my privilege too, as one of the oldest members, to welcome all of you all on this wonderful occasion of celebrating the 20th anniversary of the Wentworthville Sai Center. I have been given this honorable task of taking you all down memory lane. In 1993, feeling the need for more spiritual advancement in the community, 4 families got together and started this center, which was originally known as the Cuganesan Center. The honors go to John and Shamichan, Jay and Anu Singh, Kanan and Aaarati, and Jack and Vasi. The center was officially opened on the 12th of June 1993 under the auspices of late Mr. T. Sri Ramanathan, who was then the central coordinator of the Sri Sathya Organization of Australia and Papua New Guinea. The center held its weekly prayer meetings on Friday evenings at John and Shamichan's residence in Old Tugabi. Our beloved brother, the late Mr. J. Raj Singh, was the first chairperson. The SSE classes were conducted on Sunday mornings by Sister Shamichan at their residence. Although the center was in the early stages as far as spiritual activities were concerned, the amount of love exuding from the center members was tremendous, and when my family started attending the center in September 1993, we were overwhelmed by the love shown to us. As the numbers of devotees attending regular prayer meetings grew, the need to move to a bigger hall was felt. As such, the venue for weekly center meetings moved to Tungabi Primary School in early 1994. During this period of time, many new families were moving into houses around this area, and we were very often requested to conduct bhajans at their houses as part of housewarming functions. It more or less took us every other week doing house bhajans. We complied with these requests as we considered it to be a form of service. One of our younger members of the center humorously pointed out that we were becoming a Dal Bhajan group. We took it as a compliment. Owing to the limited car parking facilities at Tungabi Primary School, the center venue was subsequently moved to Darcy Road Primary School, Wentworthville in 1995. In 1995, Swami declared November 19th as Ladies' Day, emphasizing the role of women in society and the importance of their involvement in spiritual path. Ladies' wings were created in site centers all around the world, and our center also established a ladies' wing with Sister Anu Singh as our first ladies' wing convener. Our ladies continued to carry out service activities as a group and also advanced spiritually by learning to recite verses from the Bhagavad Gita. Subsequently, as per Swami's request to devotees, the ladies learned various mantras from Vedam, which they now collectively chant on special occasions. When the youth wings were established in the Sai centers as per Swami's guidelines, our center also established a youth wing. The youth organized plays for Guru Purnima celebrations at the center level. They produced monthly newsletters and had regular satsang. Currently, on every second Friday of the month, the youth group conduct bhajans and study circles at the center. The numbers attending the youth group and SSE classes have steadily grown since the center's inception. As a center, we have continued to grow from strength to strength. Since 1993, our center has maintained a tradition of holding a bhajan to celebrate Swami's birthday on the 23rd November, the very day itself, irrespective of the day of the week. Due to the large number of devotees attending this function, we celebrated Swami's birthday at bigger venues, specially hired for the occasion. In the past, our beloved sister Carmen, who unfortunately is no longer with us, being a very talented artist, used to make beautiful birthday cards for Swami. All the members were able to sign these cards at the birthday bhajan, and by Swami's grace, an opportunity would present itself for the card to be taken by a centre member to Prashanthi Nilayam. On a few lucky occasions, the cards were even blessed by Swami. Another particular tradition we have maintained for a number of years has been that of conducting midnight bhajans to welcome in the new year on New Year's Eve at a devotee's house. In late 2003, abiding by the instructions from the Central Coordinator's Office, we changed the name of our centre. The instructions were that the science centres should reflect the name of the suburb in which the prayer meetings are being held. Consequently, our centre, from being Sathya Sai Centre of Tungabi, became Sathya Sai Centre of Wentworthville. Swami has said that pleasure and pain are two sides of the same coin. As a centre, we have also shared pain and grief, most notably when our first chairperson, Brother Jay, was called to rest at Swami's lotus feet in July 2010. Brother Jay was a well-respected member of the centre and had been a never-ending source of valuable advice in relation to many centre-related issues, even after his term as a chairperson. He was a caring and principled person who enlivened many of our satsang study circles with his witty sense of humour. This year, we unfortunately lost our beautiful daughter, Carmen Reddy, who was called to rest at the feet of the Lord. She was a valuable member of our team, contributing immensely as lead bhajan singer and instrument player. Sister Indu Baburam was a pillar of strength for the centre during its initial stages, was also called to rest this year. In more recent times, she had unfortunately been unable to attend the centre for health reasons. I consider my good fortune and privilege to have been a member of this centre for the past 20 years and have benefited personally from the unconditional love shared by my fellow devotees. This has helped me to try and put into practice the teachings of our beloved Bhagavan. I thank you all for gracing this occasion by your presence, and may our Lord shower his blessings upon you all. Jai Sai Ram.
My humble salutations to the divinity present in each one. Om Sri Sai Ram. Mr. Neville Fredericks is the founder and chairman of the Milton Group of Companies and a recognized businessman in the Illawarra region of New South Wales. The company focuses mainly on property development and associated functions. He was an elected representative for over a decade in local government and served as the mayor for 7 years of Kiama Municipal Council. He has served as a member of a board of a few charitable organizations and was involved in a range of civic activities. Those who know Neville in the business political field admire him for his values. Neville has been an active member of the SSE organization for over a quarter of a century, and during this time he has served as the National Devotion Wing Coordinator. At the time it was referred to as the National Spiritual Wing. Chairs Central Council, and currently the Central Coordinator for Australia, Papua New Guinea and New Zealand. I have known Neville for nearly a decade in my association with him as the secretary to the SSE organization. I have admired him for living many of Swami's teachings, even when his character is changed. His response was always filled with love. This was confirmed publicly by the Chair Central Council of New Zealand at the recently held SSE Education Retreat. We are fortunate to have him as our Central Coordinator, and ladies and gentlemen, let us put our hands together to welcome him to the meeting.
I humbly acknowledge the divine sign of resident in the heart of each one of you. Om Sai Ram. Distinguished elders, dear brothers and sisters, it's a great privilege to be with you all here this evening. Such a beautiful occasion, celebrating such a wonderful 20 years in the Wentworthville Sathya Centre. On Christmas morning 1985, I arrived at Swami's ashram in Vrindavan. I had not spoken to anyone other than my family members, and I was a little bewildered with the surroundings, and a very kindly man came up and spoke to me. He spoke to me so sweetly, and I remember it vividly to this day. And that was Dr. Wenty. Great. Lovely to see you here. Years of devotion and service. 20 years of yearning for the awareness of God. 20 years of friendship, kindness and compassion. 20 years of search for the truth of our being. 20 years of the progressive acquisition of spiritual wisdom. 20 years of striving to rein in our unruly minds. 20 years on an inward journey. 20 years of a divine romance. These are the reasons why we're all here to celebrate 20 years of this centre. Swami said, "You are sparks of the divine." The organisation was started with the sole purpose to know this truth, share this truth with everybody all around. For those of us who have come to know Swami, there is an understanding, a belief, that in the history of mankind, there has been no greater personage to walk this earth. We are here tonight because he has inspired us. So I'll briefly focus on this organisation. In Australia, it is relatively small. We have about 3,500 members. Now, this organisation may be limited now, but Swami has said that as time goes on, it will attract so many people that the general public will not be able to be accommodated in Sai gatherings. This will occur because of the purity that is in Sai's teachings, and it cannot be found anywhere else. He said, I do not need temples, I do not need ritualistic worship. Our actions are our offerings, and service makes up our rituals. In our centres, Swami said that we are associated only with good conduct and good character. In a Sai organisation, it is distinctly different from the culture that we find in our organisation, certainly in Western society. For in the Sai organisation, Swami said, everyone is a servant. There should not be a thing like someone being authoritative, saying, I am an office bearer. There is no distinction between members and office bearers at a spiritual level, and the office bearers' titles are only there for function, only at a functional level. Some of the key teachings of Swami on service, I can just touch on them briefly because we've had decades of Swami's teachings. Serve with love, heart to heart. Do what is close at hand. Do those things that are within your capability, and do not take on that which you cannot complete. Setting up a Sai centre is not an exercise in gaining numbers. It is quality, not quantity. If it functions with this focus, it will automatically attract others. It is more important that fellow feeling should grow rather than growth in the number of centres. It is the most remarkable thing that we have had the opportunity to come before an avatar. There is certainly nothing in my life that comes anywhere near that experience. Everything else pales absolutely into insignificance. And God has taken human form in order to reform us and re-establish our old Sanatana Dharma. In this avatar, Prabha said, the wicked will not be destroyed. They will be re-educated and reformed and led back to the path from which they have strayed. Prabha's very direct advice, I have come to repair the ancient highway to God, has come to take us back to the realisation that we are not the body and mind, we are but sparks of the divine consciousness which is resident equally in all, whether people know this or not. The avatar comes to shower his love on all of mankind and to bring joy to all hearts. And what is his methodology? To promote love, to promote the exchange of love, and to realise that we are love. Through right conduct, we will experience the all-pervading power of love, which is God. His teachings give us the tools to mould and transform our own character, and through our good behaviour and good works, we will inspire others. The cultivation of virtues based on Swami's teachings can actually restore good health to our bodies and our minds, Swami said. Now, I mentioned service earlier. Service is the highest form of spiritual practice. And the reason it is so, Swami said, because it helps us to see the divinity in the one we are serving. And group service helps us to avoid the sense of ego when we're doing things as a collective, because it diminishes the sense that I did it. So loving, selfless service to those in need can rapidly reform an individual, restoring belief in themselves. The side message can be carried to society most effectively through loving service. One aspect of Swami's teachings I've always enjoyed, and it's been a great benefit to me, is that of non-violence. Not that I've ever been a violent person, it's not part of my nature or my family culture in any way, but it's the expansive meaning of non-violence. Prabha said, "What is Dharma?" And he answered, "That which does not injure another." It is also non-injury to self through wrong action. Any act which is contrary to conscience is an act of violence against oneself. Swami asks us in his discourses on non-violence to have reverence for all, to have reverence for all living beings, reverence and respect for nature. Do not cause harm or injury to anyone through bad vision, through hearing or talk, not even in a thought. When we realise that God resides in every human heart, Swami said, we will practice ahimsa automatically. The other powerful aspect of Swami's teachings that will help us in our own society, I believe, is his focus, as set out in his permanent charter, about the unity of faiths. In relation to that, I believe it's very powerfully important that we look for those things which are common and celebrate those things, rather than celebrate the things that are different and may separate us, such as rituals, religions, culture and language, etc. Look for those things which are common. And that is the 5 values which are at the core of Swami's teachings. All of the religions proclaim there is only one God who is omnipresent. The values and that statement we should use consistently to draw us together with other religions and to help each other religion to see that they are not fundamentally separate. So Prabha said, I am all of the names and all of the forms that have ever been conceived by man to denote God. Just look at the magnificence of that statement. So our task is to embrace and accommodate the validity of all religions, with one caveat, Swami said, so long as all of those religions do not extinguish the flame of unity. Through Bhava's unity of faith teachings, we can truly demonstrate the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man. The teachings given by Sathya Sai Baba, divinity, the avatar in his Puttapati sojourn, will become recognised as the holiest of scriptures for centuries to come. This will be his lasting gift to humanity. These are wonderful occasions to see so many here, people who have been elevated, inspired by the teachings of Sathya Sai Baba. And I trust that there will be great joy and love, and it will continue to be a place where you practice the exchange of love, as this is, as what Swami said, is the essence of our Sai centres. I congratulate all for the wonderful work, for those who initiated the establishment. I love those rollicking Bhajans that I saw on it was really very uplifting. And the food looked great, and there was a little bit of a swoon in the audience in front of me when they saw the beautiful dishes there, so I better finish up. But dear brothers and sisters, I do express our best wishes for the next 20 years and trust that the teachings of Swami will be expanded through your conduct. And just finishing with one statement of Swami's. And I went back to read this again today. Swami said, I have no interest in the organisation other than the maintenance of its reputation. And that is everything. Om Sarva.
Thank you, Swami, for being us all here tonight. Om Saram, dear friends. On behalf of all the members of the SSE and Youths Center of Wentworthville, it's my very pleasant duty to thank you all for taking time out to be with us tonight to mark this very significant event in our center's history. I'm really humbled by what I saw earlier, the good work done by all those who went before us, and many of those who are still here with us tonight, has made this very beautiful day possible. The wonderful time, companionship we enjoy at the center is because of the goodwill and commitment of our members. Your participation in the Bhajan, the service activities, study cycle, STP, Sathya education, and your very generous donations have made it possible for the center to remain progressive over the last 20 years. Please accept this as my personal acknowledgement. We are particularly grateful to you, Neville, for taking time out from a very busy schedule that we all understand, and traveling a few kilometers to share Swami's message with us. It's not just the message that you bring, there's a sincerity in the warmth with which you convey the message that makes it very meaningful and different. Thank you very much. Tonight, given the opportunity, many more people would like to talk and share their love and experiences with you. Unfortunately, we are under constraint by time and have therefore put all the reflections together in the souvenir program, and that should make interesting reading. I thank all those who have contributed with articles and photos from the past, and I'm particularly grateful to our female youth leader, Lakshmi Logadran, for editing and compiling this very beautiful booklet for us. The cover, the front and the back fairly much convey what the center is all about. Special thanks to Mohandas, Aaarati, and the sound team. Thanks to Gopati Das for doing our printing of the souvenir program and the banners that you see along the sides. Thanks also to Dr. Ravi and Wenty for compiling the videos and the images that you saw tonight. Since you're around, you'd have seen a number of people very busy, both in and outside the hall. I'm very grateful to all members of the organizing committee, members who have helped with the setup of the hall, with the Bhajans, with the catering tonight. The manner in which you take responsibilities and execute them has always been a source of strength for the center, and I feel very confident that it will continue in the future. Every one of you is special tonight, so I'll not be mentioning any more names. Thank you for being here, participating in the beautiful and very uplifting Bhajans, and for your continued support and good wishes for our center. I'd like to thank the principal and staff of Darcy Road Primary School for making their facilities available to us over these many years, and to the staff, principal and staff of North Mead Creative and Performing Arts School, that's this venue here, for making the hall available to us tonight. Before I conclude, brothers and sisters, I would like to make particular mention of three groups of participants who are of great value to the future of our center. The SSE students, for taking valuable time out of your weekends to learn about things which are most important in life, and learning and practicing these human values. You're amazingly beautiful as we saw you on stage tonight, and we're very proud of you. To the SSE teachers and administrators, although we may not see you often at the Bhajans on Fridays, we are very aware and appreciative of the sterling work you do with the SSE children by sacrificing time with your very young families. Your contribution towards their rising and shining in society is an invaluable contribution you make, and we are very, very grateful. And finally, the youth. It's been a delight to see the youth members from Region West visiting all centres and helping with a variety of activities on a very regular basis, and tonight was no exception. The skills, talents and energy you share so graciously is amazing. And you're a great role model for the younger ones that are going to follow after you. Your presence at the centre is very invigorating, and it makes us adults feel youthful, only if it's in the mind for a short while. Thank you very much, and do keep coming. Dear brothers and sisters, your presence here tonight makes me very happy. It is all possible, if at all possible, come and enjoy satsangs on Friday night with us, and please enjoy the rest of the night with dinner and satsang. Thank you, Swami, for bringing us all together in your blessed name. Yes, Amen.